and let's talk about brain health. I mean, it's all over. There are lots of brain books coming out. It's in the news. It's all over the place. And, you know, we all look forward to learning new memories, creating new memories, and of course, keeping them in our brain and being able to focus and remember things. So how many of you guys, I know it's definitely hit me being 50 now and in menopause and having a 2.5-year-old and running a company where you walk in the room and you cannot remember why you walked in. You can't find your car keys. You are doing 100 things like me. You're running a company. You're got lots of projects going on at work. Maybe you're shuffling kids to and fro. You've grocery lists to prepare, grocery runs to go on. And it is so difficult to, you know, keep track of all of it, to stay on top of all of it. So, you know, with all these distractions, how do you stay focused? Well, there are a number of nutrients that are really, really important to your brain, and maybe you're getting them and maybe you're not. I mean, I recommend that everybody take the essential supplements, which is a multivitamin, fish oils, probiotics, and vitamin D. And, you know, if you're somebody who's worried about your brain health and you want to support optimal brain health and you're concerned about focus or memories or things like that, I designed what I'm going to consider the essential for your brain, and it's called NeuroLive. So we're going to be talking today about memory and focus, and of course I'll tell you what all is in NeuroLive. Okay, well, let's get into memory and focus. So let's think about it. Memories. What are memories? Memories are those things that you know, walk in and you smell a pie and it reminds you of your grandmother, and it reminds you of opening presents on Christmas morning. It's your first day of school. It's what I'm feeling every day right now, that sense of fall. You go outside and the air is just a little crispier. It's not quite as humid in Austin. It's slightly cooler. And it's that memory of fall, maybe jumping into the pile of leaves that your parents have raked up. It's tying your shoes. It's driving your car. It's all these things that we don't even think about. So memory itself is encoding information, it's storing that information, and then it's recalling or retrieving that information. I myself sometimes have a little bit of trouble with that recall, as much as I think that this is a mind trap. But Javier will tell you otherwise. He'll tell you that, you know, talking about memories, my husband, my dear sweet husband, he has the greatest memory for the most useless information. We like to say he will come out with like the craziest amounts of knowledge and memory about things, and I'm like, okay, but you can't remember like the thing that we have to do every week. I'm the complete opposite. I remember the things we have to do every week, and I don't remember all of the sort of useless information. Anyway, I digress. So short-term memories. Okay, so there's two types of memory, short-term and long-term. We've probably all heard of that. So short-term are things that last about 20 to 30 seconds. They're mostly the information that we're focusing on, like right now. Maybe you're focusing on listening to this and you know, hearing the Facebook Live. Long-term memories are things that last, you know, days, weeks, months, even decades. It's those memories that you have from childhood, and these are, you know, often stored out of not in our immediate awareness. You know, it's like, you know, the weather is slightly cooler this week in Austin, and I walk out and then I'm remembering, you know, jumping in the leaves after my dad and mom raked the leaves, my brother jumping in that, and, you know, the feeling of those wet leaves and the smell of the grass and things like that. So, but that's not something that, you know, I consciously would be sort of thinking about or, you know, or paying attention to or trying to recall on an active daily basis. Okay, so there are lots of things. If you're somebody who, like me, is getting into menopause, you're in your 50s, and you're having difficulty with that recall or that memory, or maybe you're younger and you're like my half-sister who's in nursing school and she's trying to remember and study for exams. There are a lot of things that you can do, particularly as we age, to keep that memory sharp. You know how they talk about, you know, one of the ways to stay young in your mind is to be constantly learning new things, even after you've retired and, you know, you're gaining your decades. So I recently published a blog on my website, or on my blog, an article on my blog about some exercises that you can do to keep your memory strong. So my team will post it below where you can go if that's something that you're interested in. And then the most important thing you can do is really nourish your brain with the nutrients that it needs. So it's part, you know, being active and keeping your mind engaged, not too engaged like mine is sometimes to where it's all jumbled and scattered, but engaged enough and doing new things enough to where you keep those synapses happening, but also making sure you have the nutrients, just like we need for every aspect of our body to run properly. We need to have those those correct nutrients that your body needs to support itself. So that is why I created NeuroLive. In addition to, if you're on my newsletter list, and if you're not, please do, sign up. We often send out surveys and ask what it is that you guys want us to do next. What do you need? I want to be here and be of service to you. And so what is it that you're looking for? And we heard, emphatically, almost virtually unanimously, I think it was 80% or more wanted something to help support their memory and their focus. So that is in addition why I created the supplement, and I have named it NeuroLive. I hope you like it. So keeping your brain alive. That's what I want everybody to do, is to keep their brain alive. So it's really easy to get the nutrients that you need to help those synapses and the memory work and to stay focused while you are, doing whatever it is, just trying to be present with your children, your grandchildren, trying to study for an exam, trying to balance all of those projects going on at work, along with all the, if you're like me, a woman at home, you're managing the projects at work and you're managing the projects at the house too. Kind of don't get a break from it. Let me tell you what's in NeuroLive. So NAC, acetylcysteine, I like to just call it NAC. So NAC is found in a lot of high protein foods, so chicken, turkey, eggs. So if you're following the Myers way, you're probably, regularly consuming some NAC. It gives us support to cognitive function. We do believe that NAC is able to cross the blood-brain barrier. I use NAC actually when I worked in the ER. It's what we used if people had a Tylenol overdose. So it's, crosses that blood-brain barrier where it can work. It helps with a healthy oxidative stress response. So a lot of, people are burning the candle at two ends and having a lot of oxidative stress. So NAC helps with that. And it may help to support nerve and brain tissue as well. NeuroLive contains B6, which we all know about those B vitamins. And of course, in all of my supplements, they're coming in the pre-methylated form so that those of you with MTHFR mutations are able to process and assimilate and absorb and actually utilize your B vitamins. But B6 is known to help with overall brain function. It helps to produce hormones like serotonin, which of course is our happy mood enhancer, norepinephrine, which regulates our stress. And it also helps to maintain normal or healthy melatonin levels. So that really helps you get restorative sleep. So you'll find that a lot of sleep formulas have B6 in it. So we all know, or you should know, that sleep, not just sleeping, but restorative sleep is so wildly important. I did a Facebook Live all on sleep. Maybe my team can post a link to that. This was a couple of months back when we launched Rest and Restore, which sold out in 3 days. We have plenty in stock now, but Rest and Restore is a great supplement if you are somebody who is also having difficulty with sleeping. So the NeuroLive is, there's a little bit of B6, but it's not necessarily gonna help you with your sleep. The Rest and Restore would be a much better product. So you wanna make sure you're getting good restorative sleep, not just sleeping, but you really need to, I wear a tracking device here to see how much deep sleep, restorative sleep I actually got in a night. And so that really helps me know about that. And of course you can usually feel it. I did not get much last night. I'm worried about my procedure tomorrow. So I tossed and turned until about 2 o'clock in the morning. B12 is in the NeuroLive. That really helps with the production of the myelin, which is the protein surrounding certain nerves. And it also helps with the production of red blood cells, as you all imagine. Folate, which is, of course, is another B vitamin. And again, all of these B vitamins are in their methylated form in the NeuroLive. But folate helps with actually manufacturing our neurotransmitters. And it helps to support a healthy inflammatory response in the brain, and of course modulates our homocysteine levels that have been seen elevated levels in dementia, as well as other degenerative brain disorders. I think everybody's heard of ginkgo biloba. My mother had some Christmas ornaments that had leaves of ginkgo biloba. So before it became common knowledge that it helped to support memory loss that was associated with age, it's just a pretty beautiful flower. I believe they're Japanese plants initially. So, so this is an extract coming from the tree of the ginkgo biloba plant. And then we have Vinpocetine, which is an alkaloid that comes from periwinkle. I love the color periwinkle. I don't know about you guys, they're beautiful flowers, but periwinkle. And it helps to promote blood flow through the brain and making sure that it's transporting oxygen, which of course you need for your brain. And it promotes optimal glucose utilization, which of course your brain utilizes glucose to run and function and help to focus. And it also helps with the neurotransmitters in your brain. And then hoperazine, which is also an alkaloid compound that increases acetylcholine, which helps brain function. Those with low acetylcholine levels are people that have ALS, and those are people that need to take actual extra acetylcholine. So this helps with those synapses in the brain with memory and concentration, and it's a abundant neurotransmitter in our brain. So all of these are really critical. So as I mentioned, I recommend the essentials for anybody who has, or just anybody in general: probiotic, fish oils, multivitamin, and vitamin D. And now really anybody who's looking to help preserve memory and focus, anybody who feels like they already have a problem with that and they're wanting a boost, I'm now going to put NeuroLive in the essentials category for your brain. So I hope that you enjoy it as much as we've been enjoying it over here, and that you can add this into your daily routine. And don't forget that everything that we have here comes with a risk-free money-back guarantee, so you can always purchase something. If it doesn't work for you, you are welcome to return it. And of course, everything is gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. We have a few supplements that have some derivatives of soy or dairy, and we have those clearly marked. So otherwise, it's free of all the top allergens and GMP certified, whatnot. Many people do notice something on the first time of taking the supplementation. So it is something that you should notice within taking it, that you feel more focused. Obviously, if you're someone walking around the house forgetting your keys left and right, one dose is not going to suddenly make you remember your keys. That's going to be something that's going to compound on one another, and over time will help. But in terms of the focus aspect, that's something that you ought to notice right away with taking some. Now, if you don't, it doesn't mean that it's not working for you. I would definitely give it, a week's worth of trying, or potentially the whole bottle, but a week's worth of trying, a week, 2 week, you should definitely be noticing something within that period of time, particularly with the focus. The memory is something, again, it takes a little bit more time to build up, but the focus is something that should be noticed, relatively immediately. So Clarissa, I'm always a fan of getting down to the root cause. So we always, if you're living in a house that is causing you to be scatterbrained because you have a neurotoxin like toxic mold in your home and you're living in your home, certainly this could help with the focus. I would honestly, my recommendation if you were a patient would be to definitely get on the glutathione and the charcoal. So when I was practicing in my clinic, I would frequently, people can't often get out of their house or get it remediated overnight. And so people have to live in these situations, either indefinitely, hopefully not, but for some period of time. And so, what you want to do is the boat has a hole in it and it's beginning to sink. And so you want to get that bucket and get things out, and get that bucket and get things out. So I would be really focusing on trying to get those heavy metals and those toxic molds out. Certainly you could give the NeuroLive a try. It certainly could help with that. But if you're not getting down to the root of the issue, then, you wouldn't want to stick on the NeuroLive. So certainly you can give it a try, see if while you're in this situation working to get these heavy metals and molds out of your system, you could go ahead and give the NeuroLive a try. And if it's not working for you, again, you can call my team and they'll be happy to help you, to send you an RMA number and you can return it. It definitely can, well, I shouldn't say definitely, and can make no promises of anything, but certainly there are aspects to ADHD that are helping with that memory and focus. And so it's certainly something that if I were having someone in my family having ADHD, it's a place that I would start, along with, again, you don't want to be putting Band-Aids on things, finding the root cause. Are you living in a toxic mold home? Is this person eating gluten? Are there heavy metals? I mean, what's the issue that is there Wi-Fi? If we're talking about a child and it's in school, is there Wi-Fi in your home? I did I'll talk about that here shortly, and we're gonna have some articles coming out about Wi-Fi. We just recently hardwired our entire house to get the Wi-Fi out of the house because those signals are just beaming, 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 and constantly, can be affecting people's memories and their focus and things like that. Seizures can be coming from many different causes, so I would check with your physician about that one. All right, everybody, have an awesome day. Take care. Talk to you later. Bye.